Hey, it's me. I want to talk with you about something that I feel is really important: love, will, and our relationships with others. These three things are completely connected. And when one of them is in balance, the others tend to follow naturally. But when they're out of balance, we can struggle in ways that feel confusing and painful. We all want strong, meaningful relationships. But for that to happen, we need love. And for love to flow freely, we need a healthy sense of will, our ability to choose, act, and express ourselves. When our will is too rigid or too weak, it affects how we love and connect with others. When love is forced or demanded, it can create resistance rather than closeness. And when we don't understand what's happening inside us, we can feel stuck, giving too much, receiving too little, or feeling lost in between. Maybe you've been in a situation where you tried to feel love because you thought you should, but deep down, it just wasn't there. You might have felt guilty about it or judged yourself for it. Love can't be forced, it has to grow naturally. And the only way to let it grow is to first be honest about what you really feel. At the same time, you may have heard that you have to give love to receive it. And while that's true, the problem is that many people misunderstand it. They try to use sheer willpower to make themselves love more, thinking it will guarantee love in return. But real love doesn't work like that. Love isn't something you do in order to get something. It's something that flows when you truly understand yourself and others. Now, here's something that may have left you feeling confused or hurt before. What if you have truly loved someone, but they didn't accept it? What if they pulled away or even rejected you? Many people struggle with this question. If love is the key to life and relationships, then why does it sometimes not work? Why do some people who seem less loving receive plenty of love, while others who have so much love to give feel lonely or unappreciated? The truth is, just like people can struggle to give love, they can also struggle to receive it. If someone is emotionally closed off, your love, even if it is real, might feel overwhelming to them. It may even scare them. When that happens, they may pull away, not because you did something wrong, but because they aren't able to handle that level of connection just yet. And here's where another misunderstanding comes in. Just as it's damaging to love too little, it can also be harmful to love too much in a way that ignores the other person's emotional needs. If you're pushing your love onto someone who isn't ready to receive it, that forceful energy can actually make them withdraw. It's not because you're unworthy or because your love isn't valuable. It's simply because they are not in a place to accept it. But instead of seeing that, we often take rejection personally. We feel hurt, frustrated, or even angry. We may resent the person for not returning our feelings, and in our pain, we might shut down completely, either with them or in future relationships. This is how the cycle of heartbreak and self-protection begins. So, what's the solution? I think it's learning to love wisely, to be aware of not just what you want to give, also what the other person is truly able to receive. I mean, think about it. Have you ever been so caught up in giving that you didn't stop to notice if the other person even wanted what you were offering? Just as it's painful to be ignored when you need love, it can also feel overwhelming to be given more love than you can handle. When we aren't aware of this, we unintentionally put pressure on others, making them feel smothered rather than loved. So instead of pouring out all your love in a way that demands the same in return, try to tune into the other person's reality. Can they handle deep love right now? Or do they need something lighter like friendship, space, or slow building trust? When you learn to respect where someone else is emotionally, without taking it personally, you begin to free yourself from unnecessary pain. This doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you love with awareness, without trying to control how the other person responds. Now, how does will come into play? So will, our ability to choose, act, and direct our lives, is a powerful tool, but it can also be a source of struggle when it's out of balance. And here are a few ways our will can create problems in relationships. The first way is not knowing what we truly want. So sometimes we suppress our real desires because we fear judgment or rejection. But when we're unclear about what we want, we send mixed signals to others and ourselves, leading to confusion and frustration. The second way is having conflicting desires. So we may want love and connection, but we also fear being vulnerable. We may want deep relationships, yet resist the changes they bring. These internal conflicts create tension that affects our relationships in ways we often don't recognize. The third way our will can create problems in relationships is by pushing too hard for what we want. So if we force our desires onto someone else, whether it's love, attention, or commitment, it often backfires. Relationships require a natural rhythm, not pressure. And the fourth way is not using our will at all. So on the other hand, some people hold back entirely. They resign themselves to whatever happens, afraid to act or express their needs. And this leads to passive living, where we feel unfulfilled, yet don't often know why. So what's the balance? How do we strike the balance in all of this? It's about using our will without forcing it. It's knowing what we want and not demanding it in a way that disregards reality. It's having an open heart and also respecting the timing and boundaries of others. In the end, love, will, and relationships are all about balance. You don't suppress your feelings, and you don't force them onto someone else either. You don't shut down your desires, and you also don't push too hard that you ignore what's actually happening. If you can step back and observe yourself without self-judgment, you'll begin to see where you're out of balance. You'll notice when your will is too rigid or too weak. You'll recognize when your love is flowing naturally versus when it's being pushed or forced. And as you do this, you'll grow into a more peaceful, confident, and deeply connected version of yourself. Because real love, love that truly fulfills, is not about forcing, needing, or demanding. It's about understanding, respecting, and trusting the natural flow of connection. And when you find that balance, love will no longer be something you chase. It will be something that flows effortlessly into your life. Love you. Connect soon.